The creation of the One Ring. First, let's take a quick journey back in time, to the forging of the One Ring. Crafted by Sauron himself in the fires of Mount Doom, the ring was not just a symbol of power, it was a physical manifestation of his will. The ring was imbued with a portion of Sauron's own essence, making it more than just a magical artifact. It was designed to control the other rings of power and their bearers. But its power went far beyond that. Why? The power of the ring over the mortal mind. The One Ring has an almost magical ability to manipulate the thoughts and desires of its wearer. For those with the potential for great power, like Gollum, Boromir, and even Frodo, the ring amplifies their weaknesses, bringing out their greed, envy, and desire for domination. But it's not just the wearer who is affected, its influence spreads over everyone nearby. The ring exerts a constant pull, pushing even the bravest hearts toward temptation. Corruption and control. One of the most terrifying aspects of the One Ring is how it corrupts its wearer. Sauron designed it to control and dominate, but he underestimated one key element: how the ring's influence would change those who wore it. From Isildur's refusal to destroy the ring to Gollum's tragic descent into madness, the ring doesn't just give power, it takes away free will. It feeds on desire and uses the bearer's inner darkness against them. The more one uses it, the more they become enslaved to its power. The ring's ability to control other rings of power, but the One Ring's power didn't end with just its wearer. The other rings of power, the ones gifted to the elves, dwarves, and men, were all susceptible to its influence. We see this when Sauron wields the ring in his attempt to dominate the world. The elves, who were wise enough to resist its effects for a time, were eventually forced to remove their rings when they sensed the growing threat. It's a perfect example of how the One Ring not only controls the minds of those who wear it but also manipulates the very forces of Middle-earth. The Ring in Time. One of the most intriguing aspects of the One Ring is its impact on time. We see this through Gollum's unnaturally long lifespan and the way the ring affects the perception of time for those who possess it. For Gollum, the ring is both a blessing and a curse. While it extends his life, it also traps him in a never-ending cycle of obsession and torment. For others, like Frodo and Aragorn, the passage of time is affected by the ring's presence, but they are able to resist its influence. The One Ring's final test. We all know the story of Frodo's journey to destroy the One Ring, and how he ultimately succumbs to its power on Mount Doom. But what if Frodo had destroyed the ring earlier, or never had to carry it in the first place? The ring's true power lies not just in what it does to the wearer, but in how it tests them. Every individual who comes into contact with the ring is faced with a moral and existential test that challenges their very being. The ring doesn't just corrupt, it reveals the deepest fears and desires of those who hold it. Conclusion. So, what was the true power of the One Ring? It was more than just a weapon of war or a tool for control. It was a mirror to the soul, a dark and insidious force that preyed upon the weaknesses of its bearers, magnifying their darkest desires. In the end, the One Ring was a reflection of Sauron's own lust for power, and it became an instrument of not just domination but destruction. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think there was a way to resist the One Ring's power, or was it always destined to corrupt? And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world of Middle-earth. Until next time, remember, even the smallest person can change the course of the future. The role of the ring in the War of the Last Alliance. Before we wrap up, let's revisit the epic Battle of the Last Alliance, which plays a crucial role in understanding the One Ring's full power. This was the final confrontation between the forces of Sauron and the free peoples of Middle-earth. The ring's power was so overwhelming that it led to the downfall of the kingdom of Gondor and the weakening of the Elves. Even though Sauron was defeated temporarily, the ring wasn't destroyed. Instead, it lingered on, waiting for its next bearer. This war showed us that even united forces of men, elves, and dwarves were no match for the ring's control, and the consequences of its power are still felt throughout Middle-earth. The ring as a symbol of absolute power. What the One Ring truly represents is the ultimate desire for control. It's not just a tool for ruling, it embodies the darkest side of ambition. The ring's allure isn't about wealth or simple power, but the desire to dominate and bend others to your will. We can see this in characters like Boromir, who believed that the ring could save his people, or Saruman, who sought to use the ring to rival Sauron. In each case, their downfall comes from their inability to resist the temptation of absolute power. The ring's legacy. While the ring itself was destroyed at the end of the Third Age, its legacy is still felt. The consequences of its influence echo through the histories of Middle-earth. The corruption it caused, the lives it destroyed, and the wars it instigated left an indelible mark on the world. Characters like Aragorn and Galadriel carry the weight of knowing what the ring could do, and their reluctance to take its power into their own hands speaks volumes about the ring's lasting impact. Even after its destruction, the lessons learned from the One Ring resonate throughout the ages. The philosophical impact of the One Ring. But what makes the One Ring so fascinating is that its story isn't just about magic and fantasy. It reflects timeless philosophical questions about power, temptation, and corruption. In the real world, we often see the same patterns: individuals or groups seeking power for the greater good, only to be undone by their inability to resist the lure of control. The One Ring is a metaphor for that very struggle. No one is immune to its temptation, and even the most well-intentioned can be corrupted if they seek to wield such power. Final thoughts. The One Ring, with all of its dark power, remains one of the most complex and compelling artifacts in all of fiction. But perhaps its greatest lesson is this: power, when unchecked and used for selfish desires, will ultimately corrupt. In the end, it wasn't the strength of Frodo or even the might of Aragorn that destroyed the ring. It was the small, humble acts of resistance, like Sam's unwavering loyalty and Frodo's determination, that led to the ring's end. This speaks to the idea that sometimes, it's not the grand gestures that save us, but the quiet, steadfast moments of courage. As we close, I want you to think, what would you do if you had the One Ring? Would you be able to resist its power? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more insights into the epic world of Middle-earth. The One Ring and the fall of characters. As we reflect on the power of the One Ring, we must also consider the fall of several key characters who were affected by its influence. Let's start with Gollum. His transformation from a simple hobbit-like creature into the twisted, obsessed Gollum is one of the most tragic results of the ring's power. The ring promised him everything: immortality, wealth, and control, yet it gave him nothing but torment. Gollum's fate teaches us that even the most innocent can be consumed by the desire for power. And then there's Boromir. A brave warrior, a protector of Gondor, yet he too falls victim to the ring's seductive pull. His belief that he could use the ring to save his city leads to his eventual death, proving that no one, no matter how noble their cause, can escape the ring's corruption. His death is a stark reminder that seeking to control such power will ultimately destroy you. Lastly, let's talk about Saruman, the once wise wizard who sought to rival Sauron, believing that he could use the ring to defeat him. Saruman's fall mirrors the story of the ring itself, an individual who began with noble intentions, but was overtaken by the lust for absolute control. His descent into evil is a reflection of what can happen when you choose power over wisdom. The power of friendship and unity in the face of corruption. But while the One Ring represents the darkest forces of Middle-earth, it also brings out the best in others. Frodo's journey is not just about resisting the ring's power, it's about the strength he gains from his friends. Samwise Gamgee, in particular, is the key to Frodo's success. While Frodo bears the burden of the ring, it's Sam who carries him through the darkest moments. Together, they show us that resistance to corruption is not about individual strength, but about the power of friendship and unity. In the end, Frodo and Sam's bond serves as the ultimate counterbalance to the ring's power. Their story proves that even in the face of overwhelming darkness, love, loyalty, and selflessness can still triumph. The One Ring's influence beyond Middle-earth. The One Ring's influence stretches far beyond the realm of Middle-earth. It's a symbol of absolute control, manipulation, and the destructive nature of unchecked ambition. If we consider the ring's power in a broader context, we see a warning for all societies. Throughout history, many leaders, rulers, and conquerors have sought to control others, believing that power will bring them peace or security. But as we see with the ring, power that's gained through domination only brings chaos and destruction. The One Ring story transcends the fictional world, reminding us of the importance of humility, self-awareness, and the dangers of absolute control. Tolkien's work isn't just fantasy, it's a timeless reflection on the human condition, and the One Ring remains a central symbol of our eternal struggle with power. The lasting impact of the One Ring on Middle-earth's future. Even after the destruction of the One Ring, the impact of its existence continues to shape the future of Middle-earth. We see this in the aftermath of the Third Age. The destruction of the ring doesn't simply bring peace, it sets the stage for a new era of rebuilding and healing. But even though Sauron is gone, the scars left by the ring remain. The world is forever changed, and the free peoples of Middle-earth must work together to restore what was lost. Characters like Aragorn, who becomes the king of Gondor, are tasked with leading this healing process. His reign signifies hope, renewal, and the potential for a new age where the mistakes of the past, especially the temptation of the ring, can be avoided. But it's clear that Middle-earth will never be the same. The lessons learned from the ring will continue to resonate for generations to come. Final reflection. As we conclude this exploration of the One Ring, we are left with a sobering reflection on its true power. While the ring itself may be gone, the lessons it imparts remain crucial: the danger of unchecked ambition, the corrupting influence of power, and the importance of resisting the temptation to control others. The story of the One Ring is more than just a tale of fantasy. It's a timeless allegory for the struggles of our own world, where power, greed, and the desire for control still play a significant role in shaping our societies. The ring may have been destroyed, but the lessons we learn from it will guide us for generations to come. The One Ring and the nature of evil. one of the most captivating elements of the One Ring is its connection to the concept of evil. While Sauron is clearly the source of its malevolent power, the ring itself is not just an extension of his will. It represents a more insidious force, evil as a pervasive, corrupting presence. Unlike physical threats like armies or monsters, the ring embodies a kind of evil that is seductive and psychological. It whispers to those who wear it, convincing them that they are in control, when in reality, they are already lost. The ring's power is not just in what it can do, it's in how it shifts the mind of its bearer. It doesn't force its victim into evil actions. Instead, it cultivates the evil that is already within them. Characters like Gollum and Boromir were not evil by nature before encountering the ring, but the ring twisted their desires and manipulated their deepest fears. In this way, the ring shows us that evil is not always external. Sometimes it's a reflection of the darkness already inside us. The ring's connection to the power of choice. Another important aspect of the One Ring is the theme of choice. In Tolkien's world, the choice to wield power or resist it is central to the story. Frodo, despite being tempted time and time again, chooses to continue his quest to destroy the ring. Sam, ever the loyal companion, chooses to support Frodo, even when it seems hopeless. These choices are not easy, and they highlight the ongoing struggle between free will and the pull of the ring's corrupting power. The power of choice is a theme that runs through Tolkien's works. While the One Ring tries to take away that choice by bending the will of its bearer, ultimately, it is the character's conscious decisions that lead to the ring's destruction. The lesson here is clear. Even in the face of overwhelming temptation, we always have the power to choose. And it's our choices that define us, not the external forces trying to control us. The One Ring as a mirror of our own world. The One Ring doesn't just live in the pages of fantasy novels, it resonates with our world today. While we may not have magical artifacts or evil overlords to contend with, we still face the consequences of the ring's influence in the form of power struggles, greed, and corruption. Every time we see a person or institution hoard power at the expense of others, we can see echoes of the One Ring. And much like the ring, power can be an incredibly seductive force. Yet there's hope. Just as Frodo and Sam showed us the strength of friendship, loyalty, and determination in overcoming the ring's power, we too can face the darkness in our own world. Whether it's standing up against injustice, resisting the urge for personal gain at the cost of others, or simply doing what's right, the One Ring reminds us that it is possible to overcome temptation and live with integrity. The role of hope in overcoming darkness. In the end, what truly defeats the ring is not just its destruction, but the enduring hope that exists within the hearts of the free peoples of Middle-earth. Despite the ring's overwhelming power, it is hope in the possibility of a better future, hope in the goodness of others, that carries the day. This theme of hope is evident throughout Tolkien's works, and it's what makes the struggle against the ring so compelling. Frodo's journey is not one of mere survival, it is a journey of hope. Hope that the darkness of Sauron can be defeated, hope that the world can heal, and hope that even the smallest of actions, like Sam's simple kindness, can make a difference. The One Ring represents the ultimate challenge, but it also highlights the strength of the human spirit, and how, no matter how dark the world may seem, hope can always light the way. A final thought on the One Ring's legacy. The One Ring may have been destroyed, but the legacy it leaves behind will be felt for ages. Its story isn't just about magic and fantasy, it's about the choices we make, the power we seek, and the forces of evil we must confront within ourselves. While the ring itself is gone, its lessons are eternal, and they will continue to shape the world of Middle-earth, and our own world. Long after the story ends, yes, we close, I encourage you to reflect on what the One Ring truly represents. Is it a cautionary tale about power? A reminder of the importance of friendship and unity? Or is it something deeper, something that speaks to the very core of the human experience? Whatever it is, one thing is certain: the One Ring will forever hold a place in our hearts and minds as one of the greatest symbols of power, temptation, and hope in all of literature. The One Ring and the journey of self-discovery. What makes the One Ring story so compelling is not just its external impact on Middle-earth, but its internal journey for each of its bearers. Frodo, at the start of his journey, is a humble, unassuming hobbit who is thrust into a role of unimaginable responsibility. His journey is not just physical, it is spiritual and emotional too. Along the way, Frodo struggles with his own sense of worth, his fear of failure, and the overwhelming weight of the ring. Yet, despite all of this, Frodo's journey is one of self-discovery, growth, and eventual sacrifice. By the end of his quest, Frodo has changed. The ring's power may have nearly destroyed him, but it also revealed his inner strength, his ability to resist corruption, and his willingness to give everything for the greater good. Samwise Gamgee, too, undergoes his own journey of self-discovery. While he is often seen as the loyal sidekick, Sam's role is far more significant. He carries Frodo when Frodo cannot carry himself, showing us that even the most unassuming individuals can make the greatest impact. Sam's loyalty is rooted in love, and through his love for Frodo, Sam discovers the depths of his own courage and resilience. Sam's journey teaches us that true strength is not always found in power or dominance, but in the quiet, steadfast acts of love and loyalty. The One Ring as a catalyst for change. The One Ring's destruction brings about a new era for Middle-earth. While the ring represents destruction and tyranny, its downfall leads to the rise of hope, healing, and renewal. Aragorn's ascension to the throne of Gondor marks a new beginning for his people, a time of peace and unity after centuries of division and war. His rule symbolizes the triumph of good over evil and the promise of a better future. But the world is forever changed. The power of the ring may be gone, but the lessons learned from its influence will guide the future generations of Middle-earth. The nations of men, elves, and dwarves must learn to live in a world where the temptation of power has been removed, but the scars of the past remain. The ring's legacy is not just in its destruction, but in the way it reshapes the world and the people who survived its corrupting influence. The One Ring and the price of heroism. One of the most poignant aspects of the One Ring story is the price of heroism. Frodo and Sam are not the only heroes in this tale. Aragorn, Gandalf, Legolas, Gimli, each of them plays a crucial role in the defeat of Sauron and the destruction of the ring.
Yet, they too pay a price.
Gandalf, who has seen the rise and fall of many civilizations, carries the weight of centuries of knowledge and the burden of wisdom. Aragorn, born of noble blood, must accept his destiny as a king, a leader, and a savior, knowing that the future of his people rests on his shoulders. But it is Frodo and Sam who pay the greatest price. Frodo, despite completing his mission, cannot escape the psychological scars of the ring. He returns to the Shire, but he is not the same hobbit who left. He is broken, unable to fully reintegrate into the peaceful life he once knew. Sam, however, finds solace in the simple joys of life, marrying Rosie and raising a family. But even Sam, who carries the greatest love and hope, is not untouched by the journey he has endured. Heroism comes at a cost. The ring's influence leaves an indelible mark on those who bear it. And it's a reminder that in the face of great evil, even the strongest and bravest can be worn down by the weight of their choices. But it's also a reminder that the sacrifices made in the name of good are not in vain. The world, although forever changed, becomes a better place because of the choices made by these heroes. The One Ring's relevance in modern times. While the events of The Lord of the Rings may be set in a fantastical world, the themes and lessons of the One Ring resonate deeply with our modern world. We still grapple with power, temptation, and the consequences of our choices. Whether it's the pursuit of wealth, political power, or social influence, we see the same dynamics play out in our own society. The One Ring serves as a metaphor for these struggles. It warns us about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the seduction of power. But it also teaches us about the importance of hope, friendship, and the quiet strength that can be found in the most unlikely places. In a world that often seems divided and filled with conflict, the message of the One Ring is clear. It is through unity, courage, and selflessness that we can overcome the darkness. Just as the free peoples of Middle-earth united to defeat Sauron, so too can we find strength in working together to face the challenges of our own time, a legacy of strength, sacrifice, and hope. As we reflect on the legacy of the One Ring, we are reminded that its story is not just one of evil, temptation, and power. It is also one of resilience, sacrifice, and hope. The ring's power may have been great, but the power of love, friendship, and courage proved to be even greater. The heroes of Middle-earth did not seek glory or fame. They sought to do what was right, even at great personal cost. And in the end, it is their sacrifice that allows for the hope and renewal that follows. In our own lives, we too face challenges and temptations. The One Ring story reminds us that while we cannot always control the world around us, we can control how we respond to it. We can choose to resist the temptation of power. We can choose to act with integrity. We can choose to fight for what is right, even when the odds seem insurmountable. The story of the One Ring teaches us that in the end, it is not the ring's power that defines us, but the strength of our choices and the courage to stand against the darkness. The One Ring and the nature of leadership. Another compelling element of the One Ring story is its exploration of leadership. Throughout the tale, we witness different forms of leadership, each shaped by the character's relationship to power. Gandalf, for example, is a wise and guiding figure, leading by example and wisdom rather than force. Aragorn, as the true king of Gondor, demonstrates leadership through sacrifice, responsibility, and an unwavering commitment to his people's well-being. But then we see leadership corrupted by the desire for the One Ring, as with Saruman and Sauron. Saruman's lust for the ring causes him to betray his former allies and seek power at any cost, while Sauron's rule is one of fear and oppression. These examples show us the two sides of leadership, one that is noble and selfless, and one that is driven by selfishness and domination. The story of the One Ring is ultimately a cautionary tale about leadership. It asks us, what kind of leaders do we want to follow? Are we drawn to those who promise power and control, or are we inspired by those who lead with integrity, compassion, and a sense of service to others? The One Ring reminds us that true leadership is about making sacrifices for the greater good and not being swayed by the lure of personal gain. The legacy of the Fellowship. As we think about the aftermath of the One Ring's destruction, it's important to reflect on the legacy of the Fellowship of the Ring. The members of the Fellowship, Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, Gandalf, and Boromir, each brought something unique to the table. They were united by a shared purpose, but they also represented different races, backgrounds, and strengths. This diversity was their greatest strength. Together, they were able to achieve what no single individual could. But what is perhaps most remarkable about the Fellowship is how they worked together despite their differences. Aragorn, a king in exile, shows humility, putting his people's needs before his own. Legolas, the elf, and Gimli, the dwarf, put aside their ancient enmity to become brothers in arms. Frodo and Sam, of course, show the ultimate example of loyalty and friendship. Even Boromir, who was tempted by the ring, ultimately dies trying to save his comrades. The Fellowship's legacy is a reminder that, even in the face of overwhelming darkness, unity and cooperation are essential to overcoming great challenges. We live in a world that often divides us, whether by race, nationality, or ideology, but the story of the Fellowship teaches us that our differences don't have to be barriers. In fact, they can be the key to our collective strength. The end of the journey. At the end of the journey, we return to the theme of sacrifice. The destruction of the One Ring didn't come easily. Frodo's journey was one of profound personal sacrifice, and his story shows us that sometimes, the greatest victories come at the greatest cost. But the ultimate destruction of the ring was not the end, it was a new beginning for Middle-earth. The people of Middle-earth, having witnessed the fall of Sauron and the end of the ring's evil, must now rebuild, restore, and heal the wounds of the past. This mirrors a deeper truth. After the fall of great powers or the destruction of great evils, there is always a need to rebuild. It's not enough to simply defeat the darkness. We must work toward creating a better world, one that is stronger, kinder, and more united. The end of the ring's reign marks the beginning of a new age, a time of healing and growth for Middle-earth. What the One Ring teaches us about ourselves. At its core, the story of the One Ring is about much more than good versus evil. It's about the choices we make every day, the power we seek, and the responsibility we hold for the world around us. The One Ring is a mirror to our own world, showing us the temptations we face, the corruptions we risk, and the consequences of our actions. In our daily lives, we all face our own versions of the ring. We may not be tempted by an ancient artifact, but we are all tempted by power, wealth, or influence. The One Ring challenges us to look at the choices we make. Are we seeking power for our own gain? Or are we using our influence to better the world around us? Are we holding on to the things that corrupt us, or are we letting go of them to embrace something greater? The lessons of the One Ring are timeless. The ring may have been destroyed, but its power to shape our lives and the choices we make remains with us. And just as the characters of Middle-earth had to confront their inner darkness, we too must confront the parts of ourselves that are tempted by power and selfishness. The One Ring and the role of sacrifice. One of the most powerful themes in The Lord of the Rings is sacrifice. Frodo and Sam sacrifice their safety, their comfort, and even their futures in their quest to destroy the ring. Gandalf, Aragorn, and the other members of the Fellowship make their own sacrifices, as well, whether it's through the loss of loved ones, the burden of responsibility, or the risks they take in fighting against Sauron's forces. Each character shows us that heroism is not about seeking fame or glory, it's about the willingness to give up something important for the greater good. This concept of sacrifice, however, is not just limited to the characters in the story. It is something that we, too, must grapple with in our own lives. Sacrifice is a necessary part of personal growth and societal progress. It's the willingness to sacrifice our time, our energy, or even our comfort to help others or to pursue something greater than ourselves. Whether it's dedicating time to our families, standing up for those who cannot speak for themselves, or working toward a cause that will benefit future generations, sacrifice is what often leads to the most meaningful victories. But sacrifice is also about finding balance. The greatest heroes are not those who give everything to the point of self-destruction, but those who know when to act, when to let go, and when to ask for help. Frodo couldn't have made it through the journey alone, and neither could Sam. This teaches us that true sacrifice doesn't mean carrying the burden on our own. It's about finding the strength in unity and working together toward a common goal. The ring's influence on personal identity. Another fascinating aspect of the One Ring is the way it forces the characters to confront their own identities. From the moment Frodo takes the ring, he is altered. The ring doesn't just change those who possess it physically, it alters their very sense of self. We see this with Frodo, but also with Gollum, Boromir, and even Frodo's companion, Sam. The ring manipulates their insecurities, their fears, and their desires, turning them against their better natures. This leads us to a crucial question: how often do we allow external forces to define our identity? In the modern world, we are constantly bombarded with messages that tell us who we should be, what we should want, and how we should live. The One Ring represents these external pressures: the expectations of society, the pursuit of wealth or status, the desire for approval from others. The story of the One Ring challenges us to think about the ways in which we are shaped by these forces and whether we can resist them to remain true to ourselves. Just as Frodo struggles with his sense of identity as the bearer of the ring, we too may struggle with our own sense of self in a world that constantly seeks to change us. But like Frodo, we can find strength in our true nature, our kindness, our loyalty, our commitment to doing what's right. The One Ring serves as a reminder that we are not defined by the pressures of the world, but by the choices we make in response to those pressures. The role of friendship and fellowship in overcoming darkness. While the One Ring is a symbol of power and corruption, the Fellowship of the Ring represents the power of friendship and unity. As we saw in the Fellowship's journey, it was not one individual's strength that carried them to success, but their ability to work together. Sam and Frodo's friendship is the heart of the story. It is their bond that keeps them going, even in the face of impossible odds. Aragorn, Legolas, and Gimli, despite their differences, put aside their prejudices and worked together for a common cause. This brings us to one of the most important lessons from The Lord of the Rings: no one can overcome darkness alone. Just as Frodo needed Sam, and the Fellowship needed each other, we too need others in our lives. In times of struggle or darkness, it is our friendships, our relationships, and our communities that provide the strength we need to keep going in a world that often feels divided. The story of the Fellowship serves as a reminder that unity can overcome even the greatest of evils. It's in our shared struggles and our collective efforts that we find hope and strength. The Ring may have sought to divide and corrupt, but the Fellowship showed us that it is in our unity, in our love for one another, that we can find the true power to change the world. Final thoughts: what is the true power of the One Ring? So, what is the true power of the One Ring? The ring, in the end, is not just an artifact of evil, it is a symbol of the choices we face every day. Its power lies not in its magical properties, but in its ability to influence the hearts and minds of those who possess it. It offers the illusion of control, the promise of power, but it ultimately leads to corruption and destruction. The One Ring is a reflection of our own desires and ambitions. It forces us to confront the things we seek, and it reminds us that unchecked ambition can lead us astray. But it also teaches us the importance of humility, of knowing when to relinquish control, and of recognizing that power alone is not the key to happiness or success. In the end, the One Ring's true power is not its ability to control, it is the ability to corrupt. But by choosing love, loyalty, and selflessness, we can break free from its influence, just as Frodo, Sam, and the rest of the Fellowship did. And by doing so, we can create a world that is stronger, kinder, and more united. Call to reflection: as we conclude, take a moment to think about the ways in which the One Ring story relates to your own life. What are the rings in your life? Those temptations, those desires that can lead you down a darker path. How can you resist their pull, and what choices can you make today to ensure you stay true to your values and your purpose? And remember, like the heroes of Middle-earth, it is through our choices, our sacrifices, and our connections with others that we can overcome even the greatest of challenges. Together, we can face the darkness and bring light to the world. The final battle, confronting our inner darkness at the heart of the Lord of the Rings, the ultimate battle isn't fought with swords, but within. It's the battle between our higher selves and the darker aspects of our nature. The desires for power, greed, or control that the One Ring symbolizes. Each character faces their own internal struggle. Frodo battles with the ring's influence, Gollum with his split personality, Boromir with his desire to use the ring for Gondor, and even Gandalf with his understanding of the burden of power. This battle, though, is not unique to Middle-earth. We all face our own ring every day, whether it's our internal fears, unhealthy desires, or temptations to take shortcuts in life. The true challenge lies in how we confront these forces.
Do we succumb to them?
Or do we recognize them and choose a different path? The characters who succeed, Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and others, don't win because they are flawless. They win because they make the conscious decision to face their flaws, admit their struggles, and continue moving forward. It's this relentless pursuit of doing what's right, no matter the cost, that ultimately leads to victory. This reminds us that confronting our inner darkness doesn't mean we have to be perfect. It means being aware of our weaknesses, accepting them, and choosing to rise above them. Each step we take toward self-awareness, forgiveness, and growth is a step toward freedom from the corrupting forces in our own lives. The power of hope in a dark world. The One Ring story is also a tale about hope. Despite the overwhelming darkness that seems to consume Middle-earth, there is always hope. It's hope that keeps Frodo and Sam going when all seems lost. It's hope that allows Aragorn to continue fighting for his people, even when victory seems impossible. And it's hope that ultimately leads to the ring's destruction. Despite the countless moments where it seems like all is doomed in our world today, hope is often in short supply. We face challenges that feel insurmountable, be it climate change, political unrest, or personal struggles. But the story of the One Ring teaches us that hope is not passive, it is something we actively choose. Hope is the belief that, no matter how dark things may seem, there is always a way forward. It is the belief that we can make a difference, even if it's just one small act of kindness or courage at a time. When Frodo and Sam set out on their journey, they didn't know they would succeed. They didn't even know how they would succeed. But they chose to keep going, even when the odds were against them. That is the power of hope. It's not about knowing what will happen, but about choosing to take that next step, even in the face of overwhelming darkness. Bringing Middle-earth's lessons into our world. So, how do we bring the lessons of Middle-earth into our world? How can we take the wisdom of the One Ring and apply it to our lives today? 1. Make conscious choices about the power you wield. In a world that often glorifies power, wealth, and influence, remember that true power lies in how we choose to use our resources, relationships, and influence. Are we using them to help others, or to serve ourselves? 2. Practice self-reflection. Just as Frodo and Gandalf must constantly reflect on the ring's power and their own internal struggles, we too must take time to reflect on our own desires and motivations. Are we letting outside forces define who we are? Are we living in alignment with our values? 3. Find strength in unity. The Fellowship teaches us that we are stronger together. Whether it's a team at work, a community of friends, or a family, remember that our collective strength can help us overcome any challenge. Reach out to others for support and offer your support in return. 4. Never give up hope. In the face of adversity, it's easy to lose hope. But just like Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and the rest of the Fellowship, we must hold on to the belief that there is always a way forward. Even when we can't see the path, hope gives us the strength to keep moving. A call to action. As we draw to a close, I want to challenge you to take one thing from this video and apply it to your life. Is there something you need to let go of? Something that's holding you back or corrupting you? Is there a relationship, a goal, or a dream that needs your attention and action? The One Ring teaches us that we can always choose a better path. We can choose to face our inner darkness, to fight for what's good, and to work together to create a world filled with hope.
It's in our hands.
Each choice we make, each step we take, shapes the world around us.
So, what will you choose?
Embracing the journey, your own Fellowship. When we look at the journey of the Fellowship, we can see how each member brings something unique to the table. Frodo's courage, Sam's loyalty, Aragorn's leadership, Legolas's wisdom, Gimli's strength, Gandalf's guidance. Each plays a vital role in the success of the mission. The Fellowship was not just a group of people who happened to be on the same path. It was a collection of individuals with different backgrounds, skills, and dreams, but united by a common cause. This teaches us something essential: we are all part of a larger Fellowship. We may not always agree on everything, but it is our collective strengths, our shared vision, and our differences that make us stronger. Whether it's your family, your friends, or the community around you, remember that you are not alone. The people around you, much like the members of the Fellowship, play an important role in your journey. The beauty of life's journey is not found only in the destination, but in the connections we make along the way. Just as Frodo could not have succeeded without Sam, we cannot succeed without the support of others. So, take a moment today to appreciate the people who walk beside you on your own journey, and think about how you can support them in return. Facing our own rings in our daily lives, we each face our own rings, those personal struggles, temptations, or fears that threaten to consume us. Whether it's the temptation of power, the fear of failure, or the desire for approval, these rings can subtly but surely take control of our lives if we aren't vigilant. But remember, just as Frodo carried the ring to Mount Doom, we too can carry our burdens. The difference is that we have the power to choose how we handle them. We have the ability to resist the ring's pull, to overcome the darkness that threatens to overtake us. Just as Frodo and Sam found strength in their friendship and purpose, we can find strength in our values, our relationships, and our belief in a better tomorrow. The key is awareness. Recognizing when we are tempted by our own rings is the first step. But once we acknowledge it, we can choose how to respond. Will we allow it to consume us, or will we choose a path of self-awareness, growth, and courage? Hope in the face of darkness. One of the most enduring messages of the Lord of the Rings is the power of hope. Despite all odds, the characters hold on to hope. Hope that the ring will be destroyed, hope that peace will be restored to Middle-earth, hope that love and friendship will triumph over evil. Hope isn't about certainty, it's about the belief that even in the darkest times, there is a light worth fighting for. In our own lives, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the weight of the world, the news, the struggles, the uncertainties. But hope is the antidote to despair. It's the belief that even in the face of overwhelming challenges, there is still a way forward. We may not always know what that way is, but if we hold on to hope, we can find the strength to keep going. Frodo and Sam didn't know how they would succeed in destroying the ring, but they kept going because they believed in the greater good. You too can face your challenges with that same courage and hope. Trust that, even when things seem impossible, the journey is worth it. A call to personal transformation. The One Ring is a powerful symbol, but it's also a metaphor for transformation. In destroying the ring, Frodo and Sam transformed not just the world, but themselves. They emerged from their journey as different people, not just because of the physical hardships they faced, but because they faced their fears, doubts, and weaknesses head-on. They learned the true meaning of sacrifice, loyalty, and courage. So, as you reflect on the lessons from The Lord of the Rings, think about how they apply to your own life. What is the ring in your life that you need to destroy? What fears or desires are holding you back from becoming the person you are meant to be? Transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires dedication, self-reflection, and the courage to face our weaknesses. But just as Frodo and Sam found their strength on the journey, so too can you find yours. Final thoughts and reflection. As we reach the end of this journey through Middle-earth, I encourage you to take a step back and reflect on your own path. The story of the One Ring isn't just a fantasy, it's a story about the power of choice, the importance of self-awareness, and the strength that comes from love, friendship, and hope. Today, ask yourself, what is my One Ring? What is the thing that I need to confront in order to move forward? And how can I draw strength from the people around me, just like the Fellowship did, to face it head-on? The power of small acts, everyday heroism. As we reflect on the grand epic of The Lord of the Rings, it's easy to forget the small acts of heroism that shape the course of the story. While Frodo's journey to Mount Doom is the central arc, it is Sam's consistent, quiet acts of bravery. Carrying Frodo when he could no longer walk, offering a kind word when hope seemed lost, that remind us that heroism doesn't always look like a grand battle. Sometimes, it's in the smallest of moments that in our own lives, we might not face literal monsters or the threat of darkness overwhelming the world. But that doesn't mean that our actions are any less significant. Small acts of kindness, standing up for someone who's being treated unfairly, or simply offering a listening ear to a friend in need, these are the moments that define us. These are the moments that build the foundations of a better world. Samwise Gamgee wasn't the most powerful, the smartest, or the most skilled member of the Fellowship, but his quiet strength, loyalty, and belief in the goodness of the journey made him one of the greatest heroes of all. Just like Sam, you have the potential to be a hero in your own life, simply by showing up, staying true to your values, and taking care of those around you. The eternal relevance of Middle-earth's wisdom. The beauty of Tolkien's work is its timelessness. The struggles of Middle-earth, greed, betrayal, darkness, are not just fantasy elements. They reflect real-world issues that have plagued humanity for centuries. The desire for power, the temptation of the easy path, and the consequences of unchecked ambition. These are battles we continue to face. But Middle-earth also teaches us something incredibly important. No matter how dark the world gets, there is always a chance for redemption. There is always a possibility for change. The story of Sauron's defeat, the redemption of Gollum, and the eventual peace in Gondor remind us that no force is invincible, and no one is beyond hope. That in your life, you too can find redemption, no matter your past mistakes or struggles. Just as Gollum had moments where he could have chosen a better path, we too have moments where we can make different choices. It's never too late to turn things around, to start fresh, and to move toward a better version of yourself. A final question: what will you choose? As we close, I want to leave you with one final thought. In the story of the One Ring, it's not the ring itself that determines the fate of Middle-earth, it's the choices of those who encounter it. The ring doesn't control the people who carry it. Instead, it reflects their deepest desires and fears. The characters we admire aren't perfect, but they make choices that align with their greater purpose. So, I ask you, what is your ring? What is the thing in your life that you must confront, that challenges you, or pulls at your desires? And what will you choose in the face of that challenge? The journey is long, and the battles may seem insurmountable, but just like Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and all the members of the Fellowship, you have the power to choose a better path. You have the power to choose courage, hope, and perseverance in the face of darkness. Take a moment today to think about the choices you are making. Are they taking you closer to your true purpose? Are they helping you become the person you want to be? A call for change. Finally, I challenge you to take action. After watching this video, think about the story of the One Ring and how it applies to your life. What small changes can you make to step away from your own ring and move towards something greater? I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. What ring do you need to destroy in your own life, and what choices will you make to walk a better path? Let's continue this journey together. Let's support each other, just like the members of the Fellowship, as we face our own challenges and seek to create a world filled with hope, love, and understanding. The legacy of the One Ring. What will you leave behind? As we close the journey through Middle-earth, there's one final question we must ask ourselves. What legacy will we leave behind? The One Ring represents power, but it also symbolizes the consequences of the choices we make. Sauron sought to leave a legacy of domination, but in the end, it was the choices of individuals, those who resisted the ring's pull, that created a lasting legacy of hope, peace, and redemption. In our lives, we too have the power to choose the legacy we will leave. The way we treat others, the causes we support, the values we uphold. These are the things that will define us long after we are gone. The Fellowship of the Ring made a lasting impact not by seeking glory, but by choosing to act selflessly for the greater good. They showed us that true greatness lies not in power, but in service. What will your legacy be? When others look back on your life, what will they remember you for? The power of stories. Shaping our world. One of the most profound elements of The Lord of the Rings is its enduring power as a story. Tolkien's world has inspired countless generations, not just because of its fantasy elements, but because it speaks to the human condition. It taps into our deepest fears and hopes, our desires for connection, and our struggles with darkness. Stories have power. The stories we tell ourselves, the stories we believe about who we are and what we can accomplish, shape the world we live in. The Fellowship story reminds us that we can overcome impossible odds, that we can find light in the darkest of places, and that we can choose to be heroes in our own lives. So, as you reflect on your journey, think about the story you are telling. What narrative are you living by? Is it one of strength, hope, and courage? Or is it one of fear, defeat, and self-doubt? The story you choose to live out will ultimately shape your future. A personal invitation. Join the Fellowship. If you've watched this video and felt a stirring within, know that you are not alone. The Fellowship is not just a fictional group of characters. It's a symbol of the support, connection, and shared purpose that we all need in our lives. It's a reminder that no one is meant to journey alone. I invite you to join this Fellowship. Share your thoughts, your struggles, and your victories with others who are also walking the path of self-discovery and growth. Whether it's through this community or the people in your life, find those who will support you, challenge you, and help you grow. Just as the members of the Fellowship lifted each other up, so too can we. The journey may be difficult, but together, we can make it. Together, we can change the world. One choice, one act of kindness, one moment of courage at a time. A final thought. Every step matters. As you leave this video, remember that every step you take matters. Frodo's journey wasn't just about the end goal, it was about each step along the way. Each choice, each act of resistance, each moment of doubt and perseverance contributed to the larger victory. In your life, every choice matters. Whether it's the small acts of kindness you offer, the courage to speak your truth, or the resilience to keep going when things seem impossible, each step contributes to the person you are becoming. Like Frodo, you may not see the full impact of your journey until much later, but trust that every step is leading you somewhere important. The ripple effect. How your actions create change. One of the most powerful aspects of The Lord of the Rings is the way in which small actions can create ripples that change the world. Frodo's quest wasn't just about the ring itself, it was about the impact of his choices. Every act of courage, every decision to resist the ring, every moment where Sam offered support or Gandalf offered wisdom, it all rippled out to affect not just their immediate surroundings but the entire fate of Middle-earth. Similarly, in our own lives, we may not always see the full impact of our choices, but they matter. Every time you choose kindness over anger, hope over despair, or courage over fear, you are creating a ripple effect that can change someone else's life. Even the smallest action has the potential to create a larger impact. You may never know the full extent of how your actions will touch others, but trust that they do. Think about it for a moment. Frodo's actions were only possible because others supported him, believed in him, and guided him. But even Frodo, in his moments of weakness, chose to keep going. Your actions, no matter how small, are part of a larger story, a story of humanity, resilience, and the potential to create a better world. Your own Mount Doom. We all have our personal Mount Doom. It may not be a literal mountain, but we each face challenges that feel insurmountable. Whether it's personal struggles, professional obstacles, or emotional battles, we all have moments where it feels like there's no way out. But just as Frodo faced the darkness of Mount Doom, we too can face our darkest moments. What's important to remember is that the journey itself is transformative. It's not just about reaching the end of the journey, it's about what we learn and how we grow along the way. Frodo didn't just destroy the ring, he learned about friendship, sacrifice, loyalty, and strength. He became a hero not because he was perfect, but because he kept going, even when it seemed impossible. Ask yourself, what is your Mount Doom? What challenge or fear are you facing right now that feels too big to overcome? And how can you approach it with the same determination and courage that Frodo did, knowing that every step you take brings you closer to your own transformation? The journey continues. Growth and change are ongoing. It's easy to think of our personal journeys as something with a clear beginning and end, but the truth is, the journey continues long after we think it's over. Even after the ring is destroyed, Frodo's journey was far from complete. He had to heal, he had to process everything he had experienced, and he had to continue growing in ways that weren't immediately visible. This is the reality for all of us. Our journeys of self-discovery, healing, and growth are never truly finished. We will continue to face challenges, but we will also continue to evolve, learn, and become stronger. The key is not to see the journey as something that ends, but as something that constantly unfolds. Just as Middle-earth is forever shaped by the events of the past, so too is your life shaped by the choices you make today and every day after this. So remember, the journey is not about reaching a perfect destination. It's about the process of becoming. Every experience, every challenge, every moment of triumph and failure is a part of who you are becoming. A final challenge. Choose your path with intent. Before we finish, I want to leave you with a challenge. The Fellowship was made up of individuals who, despite their differences, chose to unite for a higher cause. They didn't know all the answers, they didn't know what would happen next, but they chose to stand together. You too have the opportunity to choose your path with intent. You may not have all the answers, and the future may seem uncertain, but you have the power to choose your journey. Every choice you make creates your path. So today, take a moment to reflect. What choices do you need to make? What steps do you need to take toward becoming the person you are meant to be? And how can you do so with the same courage, hope, and conviction that the members of the Fellowship embodied? This is your story. You are the hero of your own journey, and the choices you make today will determine the legacy you leave behind. The power of perseverance. Never give up. One of the most inspiring elements of The Lord of the Rings is the perseverance shown by each of the characters, especially when things seem hopeless. Whether it's Frodo continuing on despite the ring's influence, Aragorn facing down countless enemies, or even Gollum's struggle with his own darkness, they all share one thing in common: they refuse to give up. In your life, you too will face moments of doubt, pain, and obstacles that may seem impossible to overcome. But remember, perseverance is not about never falling down. It's about getting back up, no matter how many times you stumble. Every time you keep going, you strengthen your resolve. Every time you push forward in the face of fear, you become a little more like the heroes we admire. So, when you're facing your own challenges, think of Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and the rest of the Fellowship. They didn't let the darkness define them. They chose to keep going, even when the road was uncertain. And you can do the same. Your perseverance, no matter how small the steps may seem, is what will ultimately lead you to your greatest victories. Finding strength in vulnerability. Another powerful lesson from Middle-earth is the idea that true strength comes not from perfection or invulnerability, but from embracing our vulnerabilities. Frodo wasn't invincible. He was scared, overwhelmed, and often unsure of himself. But in his vulnerability, he found the strength to keep going. It was his ability to ask for help from Sam, Gandalf, and others that allowed him to succeed. In our own lives, we often feel the need to appear strong, to hide our vulnerabilities. But the truth is, it's through our vulnerabilities that we connect with others, grow, and find the strength to overcome what seems impossible. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to ask for help. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your own. In fact, by embracing your vulnerabilities, you invite the opportunity for growth, healing, and real connection. Don't be afraid to lean on those who care about you, just as Frodo leaned on Sam. True strength comes from recognizing that you are not alone in this journey. A call for community. Together we are stronger. As the members of the Fellowship demonstrate, we are stronger together. No one character in The Lord of the Rings could have accomplished their mission alone. Frodo needed Sam's loyalty, Aragorn needed the support of the kingdoms, and Gandalf needed the wisdom of Elrond and Galadriel. Their unity made them unstoppable. In your life, community plays an equally crucial role. It's important to surround yourself with people who will support, challenge, and encourage you. You don't have to walk this path alone. If there's one lesson that stands above the rest, it's that we are not meant to face our challenges alone. Just as the Fellowship relied on each other, so too can you. So, I encourage you to build your own fellowship. Find those who inspire you, challenge you, and remind you of your strength when you forget it. Together, we can accomplish more than we could ever achieve alone. Looking forward, the road ahead. Now, as you reflect on the lessons of Middle-earth, take a moment to think about the road ahead. The journey doesn't end with the destruction of the ring, it continues. Frodo's journey may have ended in the Shire, but his story, like all of ours, is ongoing. It's the choices we make today that will determine the paths we walk tomorrow. What choices will you make today? What kind of person do you want to be, not just in the moment, but in the long term? Remember that the steps you take today, even the small ones, are building the future. Your choices are shaping the world around you. And just like the members of the Fellowship, you have the power to make those choices meaningful. So, as you continue your journey, do so with the knowledge that you are part of something much larger than yourself. The actions you take, the changes you make, the courage you find, all of these ripple out into the world, influencing others, creating a legacy, and building a better future. Final words. Embrace your journey. I want to leave you with this final thought. Life, like the journey of Frodo and his companions, is about embracing the journey itself. It's not always about the destination, but the growth you experience along the way. The triumphs, the failures, the moments of doubt, they all contribute to who you are becoming. So, as you leave this video, remember that the path you walk is just as important as the destination you seek. Keep moving forward, even when it feels difficult. Seek out your fellowship. Find your strength in your vulnerability. And most importantly, never forget that you are the hero of your own story. The legacy of choices. What will you leave behind? The story of The Lord of the Rings teaches us that the most defining aspect of any journey is the choices we make along the way. Frodo's decision to carry the ring wasn't just a decision about the ring itself. It was about choosing hope, friendship, and the will to resist evil. It was about understanding that every action, no matter how small, carries weight and contributes to a larger story. The same is true in your life. Every decision you make creates a ripple. The way you treat people, the kindness you offer, the challenges you choose to face, and the courage to stand up for what is right, they all contribute to the story of who you are and what legacy you will leave. In the end, it's not about the fame you achieve or the possessions you accumulate. It's about the positive impact you have on others and the world around you. As you go forward, ask yourself, what kind of legacy do I want to leave? What do I want people to remember about me? Will I be someone who chose to make a difference, even when it was hard? Will I be someone who stood up, fought for good, and offered kindness to others? The true measure of a hero. Every small act counts in Middle-earth. Heroes weren't always those with the greatest strength or power. In fact, many of the most important victories were won by those who may not have appeared to be heroes at first. Frodo was not the most powerful, but his unwavering resolve and willingness to keep going made him the true hero of the story. Sam, too, played a crucial role, not through battle, but through his loyalty, his heart, and his ability to keep hope alive. You don't have to be famous or have extraordinary power to make a real difference. It's the everyday acts of courage, kindness, and resilience that define you. Each time you help someone in need, encourage a friend, speak your truth, or stand up for what is right, you are acting like a hero. You have the ability to change the world with every small act you choose to do. Remember, it's not the big moments that define you, but the small ones. The courage to keep going when things are tough. The choice to be kind when it's easier to be indifferent. These are the actions that will be remembered long after the bigger moments fade. Reflecting on your own fellowship, who are your allies? The strength of the fellowship was in their unity. Each member brought something unique to the table, and together they were unstoppable. In your life, who are your allies? Who are the people that lift you up, challenge you, and help you see your potential? Your fellowship doesn't have to be large. It can be a close-knit group of friends, family, mentors, or even a community of people who share your values. Surround yourself with those who inspire you and help you grow. No hero walks alone, and you don't have to face your challenges alone either. Find your fellowship and let them be your support, just as Frodo relied on Sam and Aragorn relied on Gandalf. Together, you are stronger. Together, you can conquer the obstacles in your path, and together, you can accomplish more than you ever thought possible. Look around you and find those who will stand with you. And remember, you have the power to be that ally for someone else too. Embracing change. The power of transformation. The journey of the ring wasn't just about the physical distance covered. It was about the internal transformation of each character. Frodo, Sam, Aragorn, and Gandalf were all changed by their experiences, and by the end, they were different people than they were when they started. But this transformation wasn't always easy. It required vulnerability, courage, and a willingness to change. In your own life, change is inevitable. You may go through challenges that push you to your limits, but these experiences are opportunities for transformation. The hard moments, those moments when you feel like giving up, are the ones that shape you into the person you are meant to become. Embrace change. Embrace the challenges that come your way, because they are the things that will mold you into a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate person. The journey you're on right now is part of your transformation. Trust that each step, no matter how difficult, is leading you toward becoming the best version of yourself. The final step. Take action today. As we wrap up, I want to challenge you one final time. What action can you take right now to move closer to the person you want to be? Maybe it's having a difficult conversation, starting a new habit, or simply acknowledging a part of yourself you've been avoiding. And no matter how small the step, take action today. Don't wait for tomorrow or for the perfect moment.
The time is now.
Every journey begins with a single step, and the moment you take action is the moment your life begins to change. Don't let fear hold you back. Like Frodo, take that first step, even when you don't know exactly where the road will lead. The future is yours to create. Embrace it with courage, with hope, and with the knowledge that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way. A final reflection. Your journey starts now. As we near the end of our time together today, I want to leave you with this thought: the journey is never truly over. Middle-earth may have its conclusion with the destruction of the ring, but the stories of its characters live on because they chose to keep going, to evolve, and to be part of something bigger than themselves. In the same way, your journey is ongoing. Today may feel like a chapter ending, but it's only the beginning of something even greater. The choices you make now will shape the direction of your story. Like Frodo, you don't have to see the entire road ahead to take the next step. Sometimes, the greatest courage is found in the smallest action. Just like the Fellowship's victory wasn't just in the final battle, but in every battle they faced along the way. So, take a deep breath. Know that your path is unfolding right before your eyes. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, and remember that you have everything within you to make a difference. The hero's journey is not a one-time event, it's a way of living. It's about embracing every moment with intention, determination, and love. Building our fellowship, share your journey. I want to invite you to share your journey with us. Just like Frodo's journey would not have been the same without Sam, we too are here for each other. Comment below and let me know, what is your next step? What is one small action you can take today to move forward on your path? I believe in the power of community, and together, we can continue to grow and evolve. Share your thoughts, your challenges, and your victories with us. Together, we'll create a fellowship of support and encouragement that will inspire each other every day. As always, thank you for being here and being part of this community. If you found this video valuable, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps grow this movement of like-minded individuals who are ready to take their lives to the next level. The call to action: take control of your story. Before we go, I encourage you to take full control of your story. You are the author of your own destiny, and it's never too late to start writing the next chapter. Don't wait for someone else to change your world. Take action yourself. It could be as simple as setting a new goal, taking care of your health, or challenging yourself to step out of your comfort zone. And remember, you have a fellowship that's here to support you. I'm here to help you, and you're not alone. So take that first step today. Together, we can turn our dreams into reality. Exploring your potential, unleash your inner strength. In Middle-earth, every hero had untapped potential within them. Frodo was just an ordinary hobbit from the Shire, but his courage and determination made him capable of incredible feats. Sam was a gardener, not a soldier, but his loyalty and heart made him a key figure in the story. Just like them, you have incredible potential that you may not yet have fully realized. Every single person has something unique to offer, and you too have strengths and abilities that are waiting to be unlocked. The journey ahead may challenge you, but it also offers you the opportunity to discover what you're truly capable of. Don't limit yourself based on where you come from or what you've done in the past. Embrace the unknown and believe in your ability to grow and evolve. Ask yourself, what is my untapped potential? What am I capable of achieving if I push myself beyond my current limits? There's no limit to what you can accomplish when you begin to unlock your inner strength and believe in your ability to rise above any challenge. The power of resilience, bouncing back stronger. Throughout The Lord of the Rings, we see characters who face unimaginable hardships and setbacks. Whether it's Frodo struggling with the weight of the ring or Aragorn dealing with the burden of leadership, they all experience moments where they could have given up. Yet, they continue to rise again, stronger than before. Resilience is one of the most powerful traits you can develop in your own life. When life knocks you down, it's not about how many times you fall, it's about how many times you get back up. Each time you face a challenge, you are given the opportunity to grow stronger. Resilience isn't about being unaffected by hardship, it's about learning how to thrive despite adversity. So, when faced with obstacles in your life, remember the strength of the characters in Middle-earth. Like them, you too can bounce back stronger and wiser from every setback. Don't let your challenges define you, let them refine you and make you the person you're meant to be. Creating your own legend, what will your story be? Frodo's journey didn't start with him knowing he would become a legend, and neither did Aragorn or Gandalf. The path to greatness is often paved by the choices we make in the moments that seem insignificant. Your story is being written every day with every decision you make. The way you choose to act, to respond to challenges, to treat others, these things define who you are and the legacy you will leave behind. What story do you want to tell? What will your legacy be? You have the power to write your own legend. It doesn't matter how small you feel today. What matters is how you rise and how you choose to act in every moment. The world is waiting for you to step into your power and start creating your own heroic tale. Think about it, you can be the hero of your own story. It doesn't require a sword or magical powers. It requires heart, dedication, and a willingness to rise to the occasion. The story you create for yourself is in your hands. How will you make it a legendary one? A call for courage. Take the first step today. If there's one thing we can learn from the heroes of Middle-earth, it's the power of courage. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They didn't wait for everything to be aligned before taking action. They took the first step, even when the path ahead was unclear. Now, it's your turn. I challenge you to take one step today, no matter how small, toward your goal. It could be something as simple as writing down your dreams, starting a new habit, or reaching out to someone for support. Whatever it is, take that first step with courage. Remember, every hero's journey begins with the courage to act, even when the future is uncertain. Don't let fear hold you back. Take that first step today and move toward the life you've always dreamed of. You have the power to shape your destiny. Don't wait another moment to begin. Building a community of heroes. Let's support each other as we continue this journey together. Remember that you're not alone. Just like the fellowship supported each other, we too can create a community where we lift each other up. Let's be a group of heroes who support, encourage, and challenge each other to be the best versions of ourselves. In the comments below, I encourage you to share your thoughts on what step you're going to take today, how you're going to rise above your challenges, or how you plan to build your own fellowship of support. We can all learn from one another and be inspired by each other's journeys. Together, we are stronger. Together, we can create a world of heroes who rise above the challenges and make a lasting impact. So let's continue to support one another and take action toward a better future. Looking ahead, the best is yet to come as you move forward. Keep in mind that the best is yet to come. Your journey is just beginning, and with every step you take, you will get closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. There's so much potential ahead, and I can't wait to see what you accomplish. Stay focused on your path. Keep believing in yourself. And remember that, like the heroes of Middle-earth, you have the strength, the courage, and the power to create your own legendary story. Inspiration from Middle-earth. A hero's power lies in choices. When you look at the heroes of Middle-earth, you see a recurring theme. They all made choices that defined their path. Frodo's choice to carry the ring, Sam's choice to stay by Frodo's side no matter the cost, and Aragorn's choice to step into his role as king. Each of them had moments when they had to decide who they were going to be. And those choices were powerful. In your life, every day presents choices. You may face moments when you're unsure, when the path ahead seems too difficult, or when fear tells you to stay in your comfort zone. But these moments are your opportunity to create your own legacy. The choices you make today will shape who you are tomorrow. You have the same power that Frodo, Sam, and all the other heroes had, the power to choose. Will you choose to act with courage, even when the odds are against you? Will you choose to be the person who supports others, just like Sam supported Frodo? Your choices matter, and they have the potential to create ripples that will impact the world around you. Turning challenges into opportunities. Growth through adversity. Middle-earth was filled with challenges, both great and small. Whether it was battling orcs or facing the isolation of the journey, each hero in the story faced obstacles that could have stopped them. But they didn't give up. They saw challenges as opportunities for growth. Just as Frodo grew stronger and wiser from carrying the ring, every challenge you face in life is an opportunity to grow. When life seems tough, remember that your struggles are helping shape you into a stronger person. Don't shy away from adversity, lean into it. You may not be able to control every obstacle that comes your way, but you can control how you respond. Choose to see every challenge as a lesson, and every setback as an opportunity to grow. And when you come out on the other side, you'll be more resilient, more capable, and more confident in your ability to overcome anything that comes your way. Every step forward, no matter how hard, brings you closer to your true potential. Building resilience. Never let go of hope. One of the most profound lessons we can learn from Middle-earth is the importance of hope. Frodo never lost hope, even when the ring seemed impossible to destroy. Sam's unwavering hope carried him and Frodo through some of the darkest times. Hope isn't about ignoring the struggles you face. It's about believing that even in the toughest moments, there is something worth fighting for. In your own journey, hold on to hope. When life gets challenging, remember that you have the strength to keep going. There's always light at the end of the tunnel, and even the darkest days pass. Your hope, just like Sam's, can be the thing that keeps you moving forward when it feels like everything else is falling apart. Hope fuels resilience.
Hope fuels action.
And most importantly, hope fuels change. With hope in your heart, you can accomplish anything. The call to action. Transform your life today. This is your call to action. What will you choose today? What will be the first step you take to move toward your goals, to overcome your obstacles, or to start building your legacy? Don't wait for a better time. Take the first step now. Remember, every hero begins their journey by taking one step at a time. Your journey starts now. Whether it's something small, like reaching out to someone for support, or something big, like starting a new project or breaking through a personal barrier, every action counts. Don't wait for the perfect conditions, just take action and see where it leads you. Your fellowship awaits. Let's rise together in Middle-earth. The strength of the fellowship wasn't just in their individual powers, but in their collective unity. They worked together, lifted each other up, and supported each other when things got tough. That's the kind of community we can build here, that I want to invite you to become part of this community, our fellowship. Share your journey, share your challenges, and share your victories. I'll be here to support you, and I know others in this community will too. Together, we can create a space where everyone's journey is valued, and we all help each other rise to our full potential. In the comments below, share one thing you're going to do today to take the next step on your journey. Let's support each other and create something amazing together. We can't do it alone, but we can do it together. Reflecting on your legacy, what will you leave behind? As we near the end of this video, I want to ask you one final question. When you look back on your life, what do you want to have accomplished? What legacy do you want to leave behind? The heroes of Middle-earth didn't start out knowing what their legacy would be. They created it through every choice, every step, and every action. You have that same power. Start today, and build a legacy that will inspire those who follow. Take pride in the journey, because it's the journey that defines you. Your legacy begins with every step you take. So take that step today. Your inner hero, the power within you. Every one of us holds a piece of the hero within. You may not carry a sword or wear a crown, but you have within you the strength, courage, and potential to shape the world around you. Just like Frodo was called to carry the ring, you are called to step into your own unique purpose. It's easy to think that heroes are special, chosen individuals, but the truth is, the qualities that make a hero are available to each and every one of us. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the willingness to act despite it. Strength isn't about physical power, it's about the resolve to keep going when it feels like everything is against you. You may be facing your own personal challenges right now, but that's exactly where your hero's journey begins. The obstacles you face are not barriers. They are the very things that will shape you into who you are meant to be. Just as Frodo's journey began with a simple decision, your journey begins now with a choice to believe in your own power. The courage to change. Embrace your true path. Change is hard, and stepping into the unknown can be terrifying. But just like the characters in Middle-earth who had to confront their deepest fears, you too can embrace the changes in your life. Whether it's a new career path, a new relationship, or a new way of seeing the world, your courage to embrace change will set the stage for your own personal transformation. There's a reason why the greatest heroes are the ones who faced the unknown. It's not because they had all the answers, but because they trusted in themselves to find the way. In your life, trust that every step, even if it's uncertain, will bring you closer to the person you're destined to be. So, don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. The path to your true self starts with the courage to take that first step. And just like the heroes we've talked about today, your first step might be the one that changes everything. The power of persistence. Keep moving forward. One of the most important lessons we can take from the heroes of Middle-earth is their persistence. They didn't give up when things got tough. Even when it seemed like the odds were insurmountable, they pressed on, step by step. Frodo kept walking, even when carrying the ring felt unbearable. Sam kept going, even when the journey seemed endless. In your life, there will be times when it feels like you've hit a wall. You may want to give up or retreat back to safety. But persistence is what separates those who achieve greatness from those who quit.
Keep going.
Every small step you take, even when it feels insignificant, is a victory in itself. The road may be long, but it will be worth it. And remember, heroes don't always win the battle immediately. Sometimes, it's about outlasting the challenges, staying true to your values, and never losing sight of your goal. Your persistence is your greatest weapon. When you push through the hard times, you emerge stronger, more resilient, and more capable than before. Building your own fellowship, strength and unity. The fellowship was the heart of the Lord of the Rings. It wasn't just the individual strength of each member, but the collective power of working together. Frodo could never have completed his mission without Sam's loyalty and support. Aragorn could never have led without the trust and loyalty of his companions. In your own life, never underestimate the power of a strong community. Surround yourself with people who support you, challenge you, and help you grow. The journey may be yours alone, but you don't have to walk it alone. So, seek out your own fellowship. Find the people who will encourage you to keep going, who will lift you up when you fall, and who will share in your victories. The strength of a fellowship is more powerful than any individual hero. Together, we can achieve greatness. Legacy. What will you leave behind? Every hero in Middle-earth left behind a legacy. Frodo's story is remembered not just for the destruction of the ring, but for his bravery, his sacrifice, and his loyalty. Aragorn's legacy isn't just his kingship, but his dedication to his people and his willingness to lead with honor. What kind of legacy do you want to leave? What will people remember about you when you're gone? It's not the material things you accumulate that matter. It's the impact you make on the world and the people around you. Every day is an opportunity to create your legacy, one small action at a time. So, ask yourself, what do I want my legacy to be? How do I want to be remembered? And how can I start creating that legacy today? Moving forward, take action today. The most important thing you can do right now is take action. Whether it's starting a new project, having a difficult conversation, or stepping outside of your comfort zone, the moment to act is always now. I want to challenge you. Take one step today that will move you closer to your goals. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. Sometimes, it's the smallest actions that lead to the biggest changes. So, make today the day you take that first step. Your future self will thank you.